There's never been a more competitive time in the free-to-play mobile game market. And at the 2019 Game Developers Conference in March, you will have unique opportunities to hone your mobile game making skills and learn new ways of grabbing and holding a healthy player-base. Most notably, GDC 2019 Mobile Summit offers you 2 days of talks dedicated to nuts and bolts of great game design and successful business strategies for games on iOS, Android, and other mobile platforms. For example, this year's Mobile Summit will feature King's Ishmael presenting a talk on to affinity and beyond, lessons learned mapping the mobile games market. Using King's treasure trove of mobile market data, Smash will show you what the mobile gaming market looks like mapped using big data, and how to use this knowledge to explore opportunities or grow them for yourself. Can big data help game makers chart a fruitful course in today's shopping game market? You will find out by coming to this talk. And in the changing face of the mobile marketplace, congregate speaker Imans will give you a valuable refresher in how things are different now by taking a look at for mobile games, to launches, and to aging titles, to see what the modern mobile business looks like. He will walk you through the practical value of things like storefront featuring, user acquisition, test markets, performance improvements, competition, game updates, and more. Outside the summit, you will find lots of GDC 2019 talks that offer potentially useful learnings for mobile laptop game makers. Among them, Defying Expectations, 7 lessons from The Sims free play, from Electronic Arts, Mavis Chan, part of the GDC 2019 Business Marketing track of talks. Chan's session condenses 7 years of work on a Sims free play intro, 7 key lessons that have shaped his thinking and the game's success. Through multiple examples, Chan will illustrate the failures and difficulties that TSFP faced and how they eventually resulted in insightful lessons that now have influenced TSFP in live service. Live games are almost a way of life in today's F2P mobile game market, so do not overlook this talk. On the same track of talks, you will find Nature vs. Nurture, Unpacking Player Spending in F2P Games, in which congregate Drew Levin will use several case studies from live congregate games to explore how and why some player behaviors are easier and more rewarding to change, while others have a nearly unbreakable ceiling. Free-to-play mobile game developers will hopefully walk away with a deeper understanding of how focusing on repeat spend will improve their business, and how that translates into design and product principles. And if you do like a bit of schadenfreude with your tips and tricks, consider checking out The Guy Who Ruined Angry Birds from Robbio's Man's Wild. Part of the design track is all about the design and development of Angry Birds 2, which had to be an F2 game that succeeded one of the most popular premium games of all time. It should be packed with practical takeaways for changing player expectations about mobile game economies. If nothing else, Wild promises it will be a very honest story about the good and bad decisions that ultimately made it possible to transfer the Angry Birds gameplay from one business format into a completely different one. Further details on these talks and many more are available now on GDC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your GDC 2019, which takes place March 18th through the 22 at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to GDC, register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. For more details on GDC On 19, visit the show's official website. Subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, OS, Gamasutra and GDC are sibling organizations under parent company and former Menominee Park's Nick Popovich speaking to Waypoint about industry culture. It's no secret that the game industry views crunch as an accessory evil, where developers work themselves to the bone in order to make deadlines. But it does not have to be like that. With changes being put into Motonto, give developers a healthy working environment and stability in case things go south. Over at Menominee Park, the studio behind Slime Rancher, developers abided before 0-hour workweeks during the game's development. In a recent interview with Waypoint, game director Nick Popovich discusses how it was possible. According to Popovich, the 0-hour workweek is not written in any contract at Menominee Park, which currently has 2 employees, but is part of a larger philosophy Popovich has on development. There are plenty of people out there with good intentions, he says. You see this all the time in the Bay Area. I think plenty of studios start with that as a goal. But they say, but, of course, in order to get started, to get our foot in the door, we are all going to have to crunch. We are all going to have to extend and overextend ourselves. He credits his previous experience at both Castaway Entertainment and Three Rings Design as formative when it came to sticking with the 0-hour workweek and other responsibilities. Even in college, he explains, I was aware of the brutal working conditions in the industry. When you are in college, it was called the Cave Lab, where you are making digital art in the dark with a bunch of other people who want to get into video games. You are spending all night working on things because you want to be the best and have the portfolio and everything. It's almost grooming you for that lifestyle. I really do not want to give everyone the impression that the only reason Menominee Park provides a healthy environment for its staff is because we don't like it with a big hit. He goes on to say, I feel strongly that we'll have a big HITBEC have a healthy work-life balance. Be sure to check out the entire interview over at Waypoint, which goes into more detail on labor conditions in the industry and Popovich's philosophy on crunch. It's well worth the read. In the wake of the blister between online platform provider Improbable and engine maker Unity, another party has entered the fray. Epic Games, purveyor of Unreal Engine and the biggest competitor to Unity, said Thursday night that it has partnered with Improbable to establish a $25 million fund to assist developers who are left in limbo by the new engine and service incompatibilities that were introduced today. In essence, that means Epic is offering to help pay for game developers to move away from its competitor Unity, a calculated move that seeks to capitalize on Unity's public relations and derivations blunder. Epic said the fund is to help developers transition to more open engines, services, and ecosystems. This funding will come from a variety of sources including Unreal Dev grants, Improbable developer assistance funds, and Epic Games Store funding. Thursday morning, Improbable stated that Unity-based projects that use its multiplayer online platforms Patalos work in breach of Unity's freshly updated licensing terms. Unity has clarified to us that this change effectively makes it a breach of terms to operate or create Patalos games using Unity, including in development and production games, Improbable said today. Hours after Improbable's statement, Unity responded by saying Improbable's statement was misleading, stating that even though Unity is terminating its relationship with improbable and spectaculous. Game developers who are currently developing spectaculous games with Unity would not be affected. Projects that are currently in production, are live using spectaculous, are not affected by any actions we have taken with improbable. Unity said. Just over 600,000 Steam accounts were banned in the month of December, a new monthly ban record. The punishment spike coincidentally falls in the same month that Valve made its popular first-person shooter Counter-Strike Global Offensive a free-to-play game, offering a look at both how the swamp-boosted player and cheater counts, and how Valve stepped up its enforcement during that first month. Data spotted by Nose3 on Twitter shows that Valve issued 609,373 Valve anti-cheat bans in the month of December, a modest 500,000 increase from November's numbers, according to a third-party tracker Steam, under what looks to be an all-time record. STAMDBS count for the month is a little bit higher at 611. But its week-by-week breakdown shows that the bans hit in 5 waves throughout December, with each giving between 56,000 and 85,000 accounts. The ex-veteran designers know well that difficulty encompasses a lot more than scaling numbers up through is in medium and hard modes. It's a powerful tool to teach players about managing physical power and spatial relationships, and engage them more deeply by giving them agency over how they overcome challenges. To get some insight into wielding that tool, we reached out to designers to ask about how they grappled with specific difficulty issues in their games. How do you incentivize players to master sophisticated maneuvers